We are Rogue Media Sports.
Premier League, the league that keeps on giving. Oh, how much we have missed you. Drama, headlines, juicy tea to dissect. And this is where we do it all, people. Mind of the Football Fans podcast. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mind of Football Fans podcast, your go-to home for all things Premier League football. As always, I'm your host, David. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. As always, I hope you all are having an amazing Sunday. This episode is coming to you all. Well, by the time this episode drops, it will be Tuesday, but recording on Sunday right after Matchweek 1. Before we get into all the tea, before we get into all the juicy details of Matchweek 1, let me start by saying thank you to all our amazing subscribers. Those of you who have subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. All our followers, all our listeners, thank you, because without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do it down below, hit that notification, hit that subscribe button down below, and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when we drop content for you all. Thank you all so much. Thank you all to all of you that tuned in to our watch along between Arsenal, Manchester United and Arsenal earlier in the day. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed it. Our next watch along will be Saturday, August 25th, when Manchester City plays host to Tottenham Hotspur. Thomas Frank and his boys goes to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I hope to see you all there. We'll be live on YouTube, I believe, from 6:30. For those of you Eastern time, it will be 7:30. So hope to see you all there. And I hope you all are having an amazing Sunday. Thank you so much for joining and tuning in. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Matchweek 1 did not disappoint. Matchweek 1 began Friday. I'm so sorry, people. I don't know what's going on with all these voices I'm making lately. But I'm sorry. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Matchweek 1 began Friday when Liverpool played host to Bournemouth. Liverpool started the game 2-0 up with Ekitike. I'm getting the name gradually. I'm getting the name right. Ekitike scoring a beautiful goal. And then right after that, Gakpo, again, I think it was assisted by Ekitike. Ekitike started that move off. And Liverpool were 2-0 up. And we all thought, well, same old. Liverpool just cruising through games, you know. I personally thought the game was over, to be honest. Well, actually, that's not true. Let me take a step back. At 2-0 up, Liverpool 2-0 up, I thought if Bournemouth, the next person that gets the next goal, will have a game on our hands. And lo and behold, Bournemouth did get the next goal by Anthony Semenyo. And then right after that, he gets the next goal and it's 2-2. And we're like, oh my God, what's happening? Liverpool dropping 2-goal lead. What is happening? What is going on? My mind is, I'm blown. I'm on my couch and I'm like, what's going on? But then at the back of my mind, I'm not worried. You know what I mean? Like, it's Liverpool and I'm not worried, right? And I'm like, okay, let's just all calm down. Let's all calm down. I was like, Ancelotti was telling his boys, calm down, it's okay. And immediately, and to be honest, Semenyo scored the second goal. Liverpool went up a notch. And they just took it up a notch. And credit to Ancelotti making some interesting substitutions. Chiesa coming on, ended up scoring the match winner. Obviously, Salah added to that, and game ended 4-2. But Chiesa coming on was just there at the right place at the right time. Because I'm telling you guys, if Chiesa wasn't there, and I'm pretty sure Chiesa hadn't scored that goal, and as much as we say Liverpool went up a notch, I don't think Liverpool would have won that game. I think it would have ended the draw. Chiesa wasn't there at that point in time. I don't think Liverpool would have done enough to score that goal. Because immediately that goal went in, Bournemouth was just deflated, and then Salah ended up coming 90+1 and scored. But I want to touch on a few things. Obviously, the game was amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, the game was entertaining. Like, when I mean the script writers of the Premier League did an amazing job to make sure that we knew what we were missing. They did an amazing job. Like, words can't describe how good that game was. Like, if you didn't watch it, I'm sorry for you. Like, and that's just it. If you didn't watch that game as a football fan, I'm sorry for you. I know what you are doing, but I'm sorry for you. But let's touch on some storylines that happened during or before and after the game. And these are things related to football, exactly like football on the pitch. But what let's start with the before the game. Did you guys hear the tribute to Diego Jota by the Liverpool faithful? That is the best "You Never Walk Alone" I've heard from Liverpool supporters. And I posted this. If you're watching this and you're having on Snapchat, right? You probably saw this. I posted it on my Snapchat, and I'm like, Liverpool. I don't care what club you support. Even as an Arsenal fan, I don't care. I'm saying this. "You Never Walk Alone" is the greatest football anthem that's where I'll stop. It is the greatest footballing anthem. Like no club has a better anthem that "You Never Walk Alone." The closest I can think of is Real Madrid with the Madrid, Madrid, Hala that's the closest I can think of. But "You Never Walk Alone," and the way they tributed it to Diego Jota and what they did, Liverpool faithful, amazing. Wow, like I was the emotions I was going through. It was going through me. The emotions were going through me. Just listening and paying tribute to Diego Jota and credit to them, credit to them. And it's with sadness that when we talk about Diego Jota, because he was an amazing person, not just an amazing footballer, he was an amazing person. And then during the game, right after the tribute, during the game, Anthony Semenyo reported, if you watch the game, you remember the breakage of play, reported how he received racial abuse, right? And again, we not just on this podcast, but I think as human beings, we do not appreciate when people are racially abused. Like there's no room for racism in football. Most importantly, there's no room for racism anywhere in the world. So that was so sad to see. And he answered, and I'm not that I'm saying that what happened was good, but the perfect response from him was him scoring the brace, getting Bournemouth back into the game was just the perfect response to such derogatory act and I don't even have words to explain. Like when I was watching the game and we ended up hearing that, and I was just like, "What is going on?" Like this is first game of the season. People are meant to be happy. Like people are meant like how are you doing such things, right? And again, these are things related to football, right? But these are just things that make football special. These are things that make watching a game special. These are things that make being a football fan special. And when you have things like racism and a player is being abused, they degrade the level, the quality of watching a game, of being a football fan. You feel sad watching a game, right? And that part pained me. That was really bad, right? So again, there's no room for racism in football. There is and there's no room for racism. Importantly, in life, in this life we live, that we can't be racist towards each other. Like we are called to love each other. We are called to show love to one another. We are called to be our neighbor, our brother's keeper, and love our neighbor as we love ourselves. So no room for racism. And then moving on, obviously after Chiesa scored the winner and Salah added, it was inevitable, right? Let's talk about Salah for a minute. It was inevitable for Salah not to score. Like, I was when you listen to the commentary, right, and you're hearing the commentators talk, they were like, Salah is one of those players that can go 90 plus minutes and not do anything, can just go quiet. And then they score like in the 90th minute, their team is down either 1-0 or their team is down or they are drawn 0-0, and then they just 90 plus something, they just score. 90 plus something they assist, and then they walk out with man of the match award. Like Salah is just that type of player. Haaland is also that type of player. When we talk about players, I'll talk about Man City in a minute. But Haaland, Salah, players like that literally can go throughout the whole game, and then they just score and we're like, okay, yeah, they had an amazing game. And it's crazy to think like it was inevitable for Salah not to score. And now Salah has the most goals and I think assists in first match week of the Premier League. Like that's crazy to that. Like that's his own individual stand. That brought him level with why am I blanking right now? Oh, was it Robbie Fowler? Not Robbie Fowler. I'm trying to remember the name. Uh why am I blanking? Why am I blanking? People help me. So obviously, goals. That brought him in equal to Andy Cole. Andy Cole, the great Andy Cole that played for Manchester United with 187 Premier League goals. He still has a long way to get to Wayne Rooney and Harry Kane and then obviously Alan Shearer with 260. So he still has a long way to go, but that brought him level with the great Andy Cole. So credit to Mo Salah. And then ending of the game, did you guys see again? You guys see Salah was in tears. Like again, the tribute that the Liverpool faithful, not even just the Liverpool faithful, I think the Bournemouth faithful too. They paid to for Diego Jota. Like that moved me also. Like I was my eyes were watering for a bit, like watching that. And you saw Salah. Salah was feeling all the emotions because Salah and Diego Jota were good friends. They were really good friends, and you could see that their relationship even blossomed to when they were on the pitch too. So they were good friends, and to see the emotions running off Salah and just Salah, he later stayed and you could see the emotions in his face. His eyes were watery and red, and that was just a loving and touching sight to behold. Touching and loving sight to behold. And as I said earlier, the scriptwriters of the Premier League couldn't have done this any better. They could not have done this any better. It was just amazing to kick off the season with such a beautiful game. Liverpool down up 2-0, and then Bournemouth down 2-0, coming back to tie the game 2-2, and then Federico Chiesa from nowhere, player that he's pretty much in the headline for wanting to leave, coming up, scoring the winner, and then Salah adding inevitable from Salah. Again, no room for racism, but it was just a good game to see. Good game to see. Moving on to Saturday. The scriptwriters were like, well, we gave you guys all the juice and the excitement on Friday. Now we're going to not give you that. And then that started off with obviously Brighton, Fulham. That was 1-1. That game ended 1-1. This isn't the game I really want to start with, but we'll stick with it because this also kind of talks about my points, hits my points home. Again, Friday they gave us scriptwriters, amazing. Saturday they were like, okay, well, we're going to show you the other side of football. Yes, there's the exciting side, there's the passionate side, there is the loving side, but then there's also the side where a game can end 0-0, a game can end 1-1, and the games are not really that entertaining. I'll be honest with you guys, as a football fan, I love football, I love watching football. But Saturday was a snooze fest. Like other than even and I say this, and you guys were like, well, but City put 4 past Wolves. That was also a snooze fest. Like that was like we all know City. Like they probably would have put 6 if they could. And we all know that no one really gave Wolves a chance against City. Like, come on now. Even on their lowest days, like this Wolves team against a revamped City team, whatever. Um Saturday was a snooze. I stand corrected. I actually let me take this back. I stand corrected. I'm chewing my words up here. Okay, but not all the games were snooze fest, but 90 that's also a stretch. 65% of the games on Saturday were snooze fest. Brighton won, Fulham won. Brighton took the lead. O'Reilly first half was a snooze fest. Like that was terrible. That was a um O'Reilly with the penalty in the 55th minute. Good play to get the penalty. And then Rodrigo Muniz, Fulham, with the last kick of the game, corner taken, he gets the ball, right place, right time, bam. Fulham made no transfers. They are one of the few teams in Premier League that they had no transfers. There was no incoming. And I think they had some outgoings, but it didn't really affect the depth of their squad. But their squad is still standard. The players are still standard. And Fulham have 2 quality strikers, Rodrigo Muniz and Raul Jimenez. And Rodrigo Muniz got the job done. That was good to see. So we love that. So this was one of the snooze first games. We move on to the other snooze first game. This one. As a sports fan staying in the central side of the United States, we are stuck with the central time. This game was at 6:30 in the morning, right? And as a sports fan, imagine the guys in the West Coast that probably are also passionate fans that want to watch game and you're supporting a team like Aston Villa and Newcastle, and you wake up to a game like this. script writers. They just couldn't allow us have our cake and eat it, you know. Um, but yeah, this game woke up excited to get into Premier League, back into the groove, and then we get to this game. Then they just gave us an absolute snooze fest. Aston Villa looked from minutes one, they looked like they were not at it. They looked like they did not, they were still in preseason. They looked like they wanted to go back on holiday. Um, Newcastle looked honest. Don't get me wrong. Newcastle looked like like if they were better offensively, they took their chances in the final third better. They could have probably snatched and we probably won't be calling this game a snooze fest. But they could not maneuver their way in the final third, and the game was just, Newcastle couldn't put passes together in the final third. Aston Villa literally playing on the counter, could not keep possession. And then Eric Konza. This was the best part of this game. I'm never tripping to you guys. This was the best part of this game. Eric Konza, after ball played above him, Anthony Gordon, you all know Anthony Gordon is pacey. Like, he has speed for days, right? And Eric Konza is not that fast. And he just ball played above, and Anthony Gordon is right above. And Eric Konza even knows it. Like, Eric Konza knows he's not catching him. Eric Konza knows, like, he's not getting to this boy. So he just pulls him down. He literally pulls him down. And he after he pulls him down and the ref blows the whistle, he then runs to the ref and he's like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Like, come on now, what's going on? No one really argued. Even his teammates couldn't argue. Like, when a team is wrongfully given a red card and the teammates run to the referee and they're appealing. No one in the Aston Villa team appealed. Like, they all knew because he was the last man. It's now you could argue it was a clear denying goal scoring opportunity. That's a whole nother conversation because even though yes, Eric Konsa was the last man, there was still a long way for Anthony Gordon to the goal, and then would he have beaten the goalkeeper? Only God knows, right? But he was the last man, and he did bring him down. So that was the most exciting part of the game, and Aston Villa had to grind out a 1 point draw. They had to really grind with 10 men just to get that 1 point. But I guess it's a solid point for both teams. And obviously, Newcastle missing Alexander Isak. Alexander Isak trying to push his way, literally push and force his way out of Newcastle, right? Which I don't necessarily agree with. I believe he still has 3 years on his contract. Like, just because a fancy team like Liverpool is trying to get a bid in for you, like, come on now, come on. And speaking of Newcastle and Liverpool, they do play themselves next week. That should even be our watch along game, should it? And that's a Sunday game. Nah. But yeah, Newcastle and Liverpool play themselves next week. So that'll definitely be fun to see, especially considering the whole Alexander Isak situation with Alexander. Now that's a Monday game actually. That's a Monday game. So that'll not be a watch along. I'll say our watch along game is Man City versus Spurs. But that'll be a fun game to see because will Alexander Isak be a Liverpool player? Liverpool are apparently trying to put in another bid for him. Newcastle want 150 million. That is mental. 150 million for Isak is crazy. Anyways, conversation for another day. But yeah, solid point for both teams. I think looking at the nature of the game, considering both teams, I think that was a solid point. Again, I don't expect Villa to be this bad next week. They'll definitely be better. They'll 100% be better. Next week they play who does Villa play next week? They play Brentford next week. So they'll definitely be better next week. So we'll see. Moving on to our watch along game, probably the banger of the match week. And I say that with so much excitement because Arsenal won, people. Arsenal won. I'm ecstatic. I'm excited. Please don't mind my dear and me pushing, but I really don't want to tie it. But yeah, Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. Yo, this game was a vibe. If you didn't watch the watch along, if you want to watch along, please go back. Just go. If you want to skip, go watch it. Because I had a vibe watching this game, both good and bad, on both sides of the ball, really. Because as much as Arsenal got the win and got the 3 points, this wasn't an easy game for Arsenal. It's not like Arsenal went to Old Trafford and steamrolled Manchester United. No, that's not what happened. That was far from it. Arsenal scored their first goal off a set piece of the 2025-2026 season, off a set piece. If you guys didn't know this, and I mentioned this in Watch Along, Arsenal have scored 31 goals from the 2024, or no, 2023-2024 season from set pieces. Last season, they had 11, I believe, 11 goals from set pieces. Or was it 14? I forget the number exactly. Between the range of 11 and 14 goals from set pieces, that was the most in the league, right? 66 of their 66 goals, which I believe was in Premier League, 11 of that, or 14 of that was from set pieces, which is just below 20%, right? That is mental. And then their first goal was from a set piece this season, right? Now, as much as Man United might have been terrible last season, and I said might because if you speak to a United fan, they'll be like, no, what they weren't terrible, they're just in a rough patch, whatever. They were terrible last season, right? As much as they were terrible last season, going to Old Trafford to play football is not easy. Especially with that crowd, it's not easy. And Arsenal, as much as Arsenal was so much better than Man United last season, going to Old Trafford, and if we bring that into this season, going to Old Trafford is not easy. And Arsenal really felt the might of Old Trafford. Like, the atmosphere was insane. Arsenal had to grind for this win. Manchester United did come out to play. I will give them this. And this is why I stick with Manchester United finishing fifth, and why you all might call me crazy, but this is why I stick with them finishing fifth. They actually played so much better than they did last season. And they had so much energy. They played with so much energy. They were physical. Whereas last season, you are like, yeah, these guys are going to be steamrolled. Like, these guys had no energy. They couldn't play physical to save their lives. Nothing. This game was so much better. And I told you this is why United will finish 15th. I mean, other than the fact that they signed Martins Cunha and Brian Benman and Benjamin Sesko, who we all saw today, they were so much better. I think the vibes just around the club is so much better. Benjamin Sesko I think he didn't start the game. He didn't start the game, but I think he was okay. The little cameo he had, he was okay. Brian Bemo, amazing. I loved how Brian Bemo played. He was the reason why Arsenal were on ropes throughout this game. And I said during the live stream, Brian Bemo, him on that right side was just trouble. Calfiori couldn't contain him. Luis Kelly couldn't contain him. Brian Bemo had, I think, out of the 5 or 7 shots on goal, Brian Bemo had like 3 of those, right? He had a header that Ryan saved, quality cross by Dogo. So, and then Cunha had some moments. He wasn't at his finest, but he had some moments. Um, and then shout out to Mason Mount. I think Mason Mount was also amazing. Mason Mount and Dogu, they were amazing in this game. Shout out to those players too. Now, from an Arsenal point of view, as I said during the live stream, the goal of this game was just to get 3 points. If you are going to Old Trafford, you are just going there to just secure the 3 points whichever way possible. If it's to play silky football, play silky football. If it's to grind out the win and put you on a defensive masterclass like this one was, do that. Arsenal defensively sturdy, and it was just good to see. Again, you all will say Gyökeres wasn't on it, Saka wasn't on it, Martinelli wasn't on it. That's okay. I think you will see how on it they will be in the next game. In the next game against Leeds, they will be on it. Trust me, I promise you that they will be on it. Right? This game wasn't for that. This game was to show how gritty and sturdy Arsenal's defense is. And we all knew this. We all knew, and that's why I had David Raya finishing with the Golden Glove this season. Arsenal's defense is no joke. They have finished with the best defense 2 seasons in a row. And they will do that again this season. And that's what we've come to expect from Arsenal. Sturdy, they have multiple ways of winning. Is it winning by set piece and grinding out the win? They can do it. Is it winning by 2 goals all coming from set pieces? They can do it. Is it by playing silky smooth football? They can do it. Is it also can they also lose games and still end up playing silky? That's possible too. But Arsenal have multiple ways of winning football games, and that's kind of the one thing that sets Arsenal apart from when I look at the other teams in the league. So this was a good result for Arsenal. Again, Manchester United, there are a lot of positives to take from it. Don't look at it as this is a step back. No, I don't think it's a step back. Like I've watched Manchester United in the past, especially last season, and I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a step back. But no, this was different. And I can't wait to see the emergence of Benjamin Sesko and that energetic, amazing front three. And again, see, this is where my dilemma is, right? And this might be a digression, right? Mason Mount behind those three players, and then Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes in the pivots, right? I don't know. I don't know. Amron doesn't want to shift from these three defenders, but I feel like if he switches to a back four, and then you have Ugarte as the holding, and then Mason Mount and or Casemiro as the holding, and then Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes as the two tens. I think and then you have the front three of Cunha, Mbemo, and Sesko. I think that would be amazing. But who am I to tell Ruben Amorim anything? It's just me talking, obviously. But yeah, this was an amazing game to watch. I hope you guys go back and watch the live watch along. It was good to watch. Moving on, I did mention this earlier. Wolves nil, Manchester City 4. Watching this game now, I thought about my predictions. And I was tempted to come on here and say I'm switching on my predictions, but I won't do that. I'll stick to my prediction. It's Matchweek 1, people. Don't read too deep into it. Actually, I might be moving the goalpost for something. But Matchweek 1, Man City looked as good as Man City looked. Shout out to Reinders. Reinders was amazing. Again, as I said, Haaland is one of those players that can come into a game, coach through the game, and then the first big chance he has, he scores. The second big chance he has, he scores. The third big chance he has, he scores. And then he goes away with man of the match award after just coaching through the game. But because he had 3 tap-ins, he scores 3 goals and City win 3-0 and we're good to go. But yeah, 2 beautiful goals by Haaland. The first one, Dejan Reinders plays the ball over the top for Rico Lewis. What a ball by Dejan Reinders. What a run by him. Plays the ball over the top, chips it in for Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis just squares it and Haaland has a tap in. Cool, 1-0. 2-0, Oscar Bob, depossesses Wolves because they play a bad ball and I believe Gomez couldn't just get it. And he then just plays a ball to Dejan Reinders, who I think deserved the goal at that point because he started the first move and he had controlled the midfield, bossed the midfield. Him and Gonzalez bossed the midfield. Plays the ball to Reinders and wonderful finish by Reinders. And then Haaland just places it bottom left. Bottom right. And Cherky, wonderful finish by Cherky. Didn't start the game. Him and Omar Mamouche came on and they looked good. They looked good. This game really actually tempted me to change my predictions, but I'm still going to stand by it. Just because they look good doesn't mean they will be able to sustain it. And that's what I believe. And I'm looking at their defense. Wolves could have, if Wolves had taken their chances, Wolves had some chances. They had scraps to feed off. And if they had taken it, maybe it would have been a different ball game. But they didn't. So I'm their defense still worries me. City's defense. Same with Liverpool. And again, that's why I don't have Liverpool in the league. Their defense scares me. Like Liverpool are up 2-0. And they considered 2 goals. I'm telling you, if you are playing any other top team, like no disrespect to Bournemouth, like if you are playing a proper top team, you are not winning that game after dropping 2 goals. Nah, you're not even scoring after that. But that's the same that I have with Manchester City. Yes, they won 4-0, but if they were playing a top team and given the chances Wolves had, I don't think City would have even had the chance to score 4 goals. But that's just me. So credit to them, they are top of the league right now. Again, Matchweek 1. Like, no one's really too deep into it. Let's round up with some other games. Tottenham 3, Burnley 0. Tottenham. Thomas Frank, after the disappointment at the Super Cup with the 2-0 and then dropping that and then losing on penalties, we all were wondering how would Thomas Frank get his boys back on track. And he did. 2 players I want to highlight, Mohamed Kudus and Richarlison. They both combined for the 2 Tottenham's 2 goals and then Brennan Johnson scoring the 3rd. But those 2 boys were on it. Kudos and Richarlison, they were on it from minute one. Richarlison looked like a proper number nine. Kudos looked like a proper winger, playing some good balls for Richarlison, and he just controlled the game. And he just controlled the tempo of the game. So shout out to Tottenham. 3 goals, clean sheets. What more could you ask for? Burnley, to talk about Burnley, Burnley had a few chances, scripts also, that if they had done better, they could have obviously disrupted Tottenham's plan. But that didn't happen. That did not happen. And Tottenham ended up walking with the 3 points, 3 goals, and a clean sheet. So shout out to Thomas Frank. Again, Thomas Frank, the reason why these boys will not finish below sixth. I have Tottenham finishing sixth. I'm not saying anything on that. Moving on. Sunderland 3, West Ham 0. Welcome back to the Premier League, Sunderland. It's so good to have you guys back. Stadium of Light was absolutely buzzing, people. The Stadium of Light was rocking. And then for the team to answer that with 3 goals and 3 good points, amazing. Shout out to Sunderland. West Ham, on the other hand, I don't know what to say to you all. You all are crazy. West Ham, you all are crazy. If there's a team that will give the likes of Sunderland the chance to stay in the Premier League, is West Ham. West Ham is one of the teams that might give Sunderland the chance to stay in the Premier League. Like, you are an experienced team, a quality team against a team that hasn't been in Premier League for 8 years in now. They have just been promoted back, and you then go away from home and lose 3-0. Concede 3 goals. Nah. But shout out to Sunderland. Amazing to see. Amazing. Happy for the Sunderland fans. Stadium, as I said, Stadium of Light was rocking. It was bouncing, people. And to reward that with the 3 goals, wow. Credit to Sunderland. Moving on. Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 0. This one was a good one because Crystal Palace originally scored. Eberechi Eze. I was shocked. I won't lie to you people. I was shocked that Eberechi Eze started the game. I was surprised that McGay started the game. Like, crazy, but I digress. Obviously, if you didn't know, Eberechi Eze is working out possible move to Tottenham Hotspur. So I was surprised to see him in the team. But yeah, before I digress, right? I've come back from my digression, right? Eberechi Eze had free kick and he scored. But the goal was cancelled, or rather ruled off, because there's a rule, I believe it's rule 13, that says that the distance between offensive player and a defensive player in a wall, there's a certain distance, right? And McGahey violated that, so that the goal was ruled off because of that. I didn't. Chelsea world champions. Chelsea are the world champions. We'll hold our hands up for that. But they couldn't find a way to break down this Palace team. With all the talent and everything they had, they couldn't find a way to break down this Palace team. And that's okay. It's match again. It's still a 1 point, valuable point. You didn't lose the game. Excuse me. Matchweek 1. There's still so much football to play. 37 matches to play. There's still so much football to play. So we're not going to read too deep into it. We'll see how long Eberechi Eze stays at Crystal Palace. Will he be a Crystal Palace player by next week, by come next match week, or will he be a Tottenham player? Will he be an Arsenal player? Who knows? We are waiting on Fabrizio Romano to tell us. But we'll see. So, valuable points for both teams. Rounding up the match week, or rather the games that have been played on match week. Forest 3, Brentford 1. Chris Wood back with the goals. When I was making my predictions, right, I forgot Chris Wood existed, and I'm sorry, Chris Wood. I'm sorry I violated you. I'm sorry that I didn't think about you for the Golden Glove. Sorry for the Golden Boots, because he's back with the goals, people. He's back with the goals, right? Forest were 3-0 up at halftime. Amazing goals. All 3 goals were amazing. Brentford just looked like they couldn't keep up. Brentford could not keep up with Forest. Brentford is one of those teams that, like West Ham, would give the likes of Leeds and Sunderland and maybe even Burnley the chance to stay on. stay up, and stop that course of three newly promoted teams going back down. And I know I made my prediction, and I stand by it. Come mid-season prediction, if things are different, we'll call it what it is. But as of right now, I'm not going to say too much. I still stand by my prediction. But Brentford, again, Keith Andrews, new manager, hasn't really coached. He was the, I believe, set piece coach while Thomas Frank was there, and they promoted internally. So we'll see what Brentford has to offer. But for against Forest, they just didn't look it at all in any way, shape, or form. Credit to Forest securing the 3 points, 3 goals, 3 wonderful goals. Brentford, they have a lot of work to do. Have a lot of work to do. But that brings us to all the games that have been played in Matchweek 1. There's still one more game to go. Everton and Leeds. That is a game tomorrow. So by the time this episode dropped, the game would have already been played on Monday. This episode is dropping Tuesday. This is Sunday. Wordplay. That's pretty cool. So Everton Leeds. Who do I have winning that, people? Who do I have winning that? Well, Everton are away. They do have Jack Grealish. They do have Dewsbury Hall, and they still have Iliman Njai, and they still have Beto, and Leeds are an unknown variable because I don't really know what to expect of Leeds. Like, yeah, they have been in the Premier League, and most of the players that they do have Premier League experience. I still don't know what to expect. But I think this is a tight one to call, and I'm going to actually go for a draw on this one. I'm going to go for a draw. I think the game will end a draw, and but I think it will be a fair result for both teams. Fair points for both teams. Wait and see. To be exciting. I can't wait for it. I think it's a good game of football to watch. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you all enjoyed my rant, my soliloquies, all that fun stuff. Um, this brings us to the end of Match Week 1 recap and breakdown. Match Week 1 recap and analysis and breakdown. That saw us see Liverpool come out with 3 points after dropping a 2-goal lead, thanks to a last-minute goal by Federico Chiesa. So a match week where Arsenal had to grind out a 1-0 win at Old Trafford against Manchester United. Man City putting 4 past Wolves, and Thomas Frank and Tottenham Hotspur putting 3 versus Burnley. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Don't forget, this is not the only place you can find us. Listen to Mind of Football Fans podcast on all podcast platforms. Check out our socials, Mind of Football Fans podcast on YouTube, on Instagram and TikTok. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Again, our watch along, our next watch along will be Saturday against. It will be Saturday where Man City plays host to Tottenham Hotspur. That'll be an interesting game to watch. We are live 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. Can't wait to see you all there. I hope you all have an amazing week. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel down below. Thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and hit that like button. To all our new and returning subscribers, please hit that like button, like this video. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Without you all, this would be possible. So thank you all so much. Mwah. Kisses to you all. I hope you all have an amazing week ahead. As always, I'm David. God bless. I'm out. Peace.
We are Rogue Media Sports.